Hello everyone, today we're filming some video content about the Specialized Creo SL. I've already ridden it. This marks the third day of testing. What can I tell you about this bike? It's a bike that definitely surprised me. It truly surprised me because I had previously ridden other e-bikes, and the operation of their motors and assist systems, along with the way the assist engaged, was often quite abrupt. Here, everything works very naturally. At times you forget, especially when you're not in the most powerful mode. There are 3 assist modes that you can freely configure yourself within Mission Control, using Specialized's app, which is notably easy and intuitive to use, much like all the best products of this kind that come from the United States. And in that situation, when you engage the lowest or even the mid-level assist, its operation feels incredibly natural and smooth. It truly rides just like a regular bike. This e-bike is surprisingly lightweight. It truly stands as one of the lightest, perhaps even the lightest electric gravel road bikes available, whether you call it a gravel road bike or a road plus. This Specialized Creo SL with its electric assist system weighs just over 13 kilograms, making it remarkably agile. What I like about this bike is Specialized's approach. They don't really follow any industry standards. If something other than the industry standard suits them, they simply do something different. Here, both wheels incorporate the boost standard. The rear boost design primarily functions to keep the chainstays as short as feasible, which makes the bike highly agile and responsive on challenging terrain. However, the boost standard at the front truly stiffens the front end. It features an uncommon 12mm axle size, making it challenging to acquire ready-made wheels. However, you can certainly order a really nice set of wheels from Specialized wheel builders here in Poland if you're looking to upgrade or replace the basic DT Swiss wheels that come standard on this bike. And now one more thing about carbon wheels for this bike. These wheels provide a certain level of comfort. It's a bit counterintuitive, but wheels with low-profile aluminum rims are actually quite flexible, providing a noticeable amount of added comfort. However, carbon wheels with a smaller rim will be a bit stiffer, perhaps even more dynamic. Well, to each their own, really. There truly is a perfect solution here for everyone. We have a damping system right in the front, and it's neatly controlled by this knob. Future Shock 2.0. The system works really well. During my first ride, when I was on some rougher terrain, I thought about what would happen if the suspension travel was longer. It wouldn't be as enjoyable, as it would lead to instability on descents. So this system somewhat tempers that sensation, just enough for you not to completely lose your road feel and connection. What's next? This frame is a way to acquire an S-Works frame, which is to say, one crafted from the absolute highest grade of carbon Specialized offers at a rather attractive price. I haven't verified every detail, but that appears to be the situation. Okay, I understand it's not exactly inexpensive. 28,000 zlotys, I fully grasp that. I'm being realistic, but this is actually the very same frame that you'll find on the most expensive bike in this entire series. The handlebars are also great. Given the stem height limitations, it has a significant rise. It has that rise which is quite useful if you prefer not to bend over too much while riding. One tiny drawback, I would prefer the latest Power ARC saddle here. This latest iteration is the very first Power model that right here slightly brushes against my leg. However, it still offers far greater comfort compared to a multitude of other saddles. Specialized body geometry really does the job. I've been riding with it myself for many years. Okay, and a final, quite significant detail regarding the geometry is that the center of gravity is positioned rather low at the front. I measured it at my place today, and in comparison to my Ridley Kanzo Speed, it sits about a centimeter lower. Okay, these aren't dramatic differences, but they do make the bike handle very stably. The center of gravity is quite low. Because of this, it's truly a fantastic bike to ride. Well, the sizes, depending on the rider's height and build, actually come with varying handlebar widths. Different saddle widths, different crank lengths. A small downside is this Praxis chainring. The chain actually fell off it today, and I think a narrow, wide chainring would have really been better in this situation. What's next? The bike's electric assist helps up to 25 kilometers per hour, but once it stops, the motor disengages and you ride solo. And you can easily keep going because, first off, this Specialized drivetrain is a full 2 kilograms lighter than its competitors. And secondly, you won't have to battle against any gear resistance whatsoever. It's just a regular bike the moment the electric assist turns off. Another key thing for me is the bike's quietness. I notice it a lot with my road bikes too. That's why I use chains that are really quiet, and I lubricate with wax to keep it that way. The operation of this drivetrain is remarkably quiet. The handlebar bend is comfortable GRX 800. What more can I say? It's in a class of its own for gravel and road drivetrains. During these tests, I'd also like to try this bike with road tires. How does it function then? Of course, that 25 kilometers per hour speed limit significantly limits the enjoyment. But we're in the European Union, right? I always joke that if internal combustion cars were to be introduced today, they would probably never be approved for traffic. That's just how life is here. It's really not so bad. All right, so that concludes the overview of the bike. Let's move on and continue our testing. I wanted to show you how this bike handles corners, roots, and other forest obstacles. The bike is genuinely stable. Its tires are remarkably grippy and perform exceptionally well in these exact conditions, especially when there's some moisture and a damp forest floor. What's up, everyone? We're currently on the legendary Windows Meadow. This is the meadow right here in the full sun. Just needs a little more grass. This is the spot where the photos for Windows were taken. I'm joking, but it's really quite similar to the original. Feel free to stop by and check it out sometime. Getting back to the SPEC, what else can I tell you about it? Regarding the bike package you received, the tires are truly excellent. I expected not to like them because I have similar tires at home. I reviewed some tires on my channel with a center strip, but these truly outshine them, especially considering their rubber compound. It's clear that Specialized has really perfected their rubber compounds. That's what truly sets the top tire manufacturers apart from the others, their access to these refined compounds. The riding pleasure on this bike is really high. I've had the chance to ride many bikes in my life. This bike performs exceptionally well, handling descents with impressive courage. It's truly stable because of that slightly wider wheelbase, and it's a source of immense riding pleasure. So I'm not surprised when someone who buys a bike like this really looks forward to the afternoon when they can go out and shred. Certainly e-bikes are not really meant for those super highly trained cyclists. Nevertheless, a highly trained cyclist might think about getting a bike like this for his wife, for example. I'm just speculating on who buys these bikes and their uses. And in short, as far as I'm concerned, this bike is truly a fantastic, and I plan to regularly discharge this battery until the very end of this test.